Sarah, what do you want about?
That's because we've only just gone online, Sarah. Speaking of which, you are in the zone with Cranky and the Swagman.
Also known as Autobot.
Autobot Dad.
Yeah.
And one day the music's going to start. Okay, and just because it somehow knows that I fucked that up, it came up with a little notification saying you can preview your takes after recording them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Of course you can.
I know we fucked that up. Thank you very much, Riverside.
Yes, we are fully aware. We are called amateurs for a reason.
Yes, we are amateur podcasters, and somehow we managed to reach 74 people last week, which I'm happy about.
Yes.
But
how many,
there were a few things I wanted to talk to you about. First of all was, hey.
How many did we reach?
What's going on with your reception today, hey? I don't know, Swagman's reception's gone to hell.
You know what it is? I have not got my internet connection, and give me a second, I will put that in. I will just give me 2 secs. You continue on, tell the story, and I'll fix this.
No, the story involves you. The story involves you.
Oh, do continue.
So, it's your story, wasn't it? What we're gonna cover is things like road trips and whatnot this week. We're just going to talk about our favorite places to go. But first of all, Swagman has a little experience he wants to share with us all, and it's to do with fire and petrol when he comes back.
Oh, yes. Camping trips.
Related. I mean, road trips, camping trips, fire, petrol, they're all tied in.
Right.
So, you tell the story the way it's supposed to be told.
We should have some very good reception now.
That's cleaned up a lot. That's cleaned up a lot.
Of course it is. It's no longer on Wi-Fi. It is directly in the wall. I realized I was running everything off the Wi-Fi because I was on the PS5. And of course, when you're on the PS5, you need strong internet because you're versing people from the PC. So I swapped my internet cable around. So, hence why
you say that as if you're talking to a person who actually plays online.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult, but as you can see, I'm ready to go.
He's got a cup there of what I assume is vanilla flavored iced coffee.
Yes, it is.
When I say cup, it's a beer stein.
It's a Viking beer.
It's a beer
sort
stein.
Of pint.
Yeah. Not a pint,
as you would put it. Probably like it's Viking style, I would say. My mate left it behind by mistake, and he never came back to collect it, so I taxed it.
This is a word I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, tell the story about your...
I set fire to my fake lawn. And this is because I was doing the righty trying to get the fire pit going for the girls. I thought, oh, you know what, I'll get the fire pit going, and it just kept going out. I had all these firelighters in there, and I had all the good stuff in there to keep it going, but it just kept going out. And I thought, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to get some petrol and pour some petrol on it.
No, the old petrol bomb.
Yeah, the old petrol bomb. My mistake is that I forgot to take the lid off the 600ml. So it already had a hole in it, but it was just an old bottle from the backyard, and it had a hole in it. I thought, oh, brilliant, yeah. Remember to take that lid off before I pour the petrol on. Well, I didn't, and my ADHD clicked in. The minute I put the petrol in, I instantly put the lid back in on the bottle and started to squirt it onto the fire, not thinking, oh, shit, the ignition's going to come all the way back up because of the compressed air. So, of course, once that came back up and it traveled back up, the instant reaction was to throw the bottle. Through the bottle, it landed on my fake lawn. I've had to run across to the fake lawn, stamp it out, pick the bottle up, throw it back onto the pebbles. And that was fine because it can burn away on the pebbles. And then eventually when it died down a bit, I just picked the bottle up and I started sort of patting it and patting this fire out. People are probably sitting there thinking, what's this guy doing, patting fire out with his hand? Well, you can actually do it. If you're quick enough, you can do it without actually burning yourself. If you're not, now, if you're not trained in the sense of what fire can do and how you can put it out in an effective manner without causing injury to yourself, I do not recommend. But I understand how fire works and all that sort of jazz. So I knew if I stamp out the fire with my feet, I'm not going to burn my feet because I'm stamping it out. Which I left a nice good foot mark of my foot now in the grass because I didn't think, hey, maybe I should get the hose set up and ready in case of a fire. Now, in case of the bottle... The bottle, it was a different story. I had to throw the bottle inside the fire pit, which it just burnt away.
Yeah, of course. Now, I said I had some advice for you. When it
Yes.
comes to
Don't
lighting a
start
fire with
fires.
petrol, right? What I used to do, I'd get a an opened beer can or a Coke can or something like that, okay? And you pour maybe a milliliter or so of petrol into the can, okay? Give it a good slosh around in there, and then what you do, you prop the can up, laying on its side, but with the open tab part at the top. All right, you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
going with you. Yeah.
Okay, yep. So you've given the can a good slosh around, so there's petrol all over the inside of the can. Lay it on its side with the tab at with the open part at the top. Okay, then you build the fire up around it. Get one of those long matchsticks and hold it. You strike it, you hold it just above the opening in the tin, right? And then what
Ah.
happens? The fumes will catch. The fumes
Yep.
catch as they evaporate. Okay, so it makes this little miniature flamethrower. It's not big enough to cause any serious damage, but it is big enough to ignite the wood or coals or whatever you've got stacked around it.
Damn, I
And
should
that'll
have thought of
go
that.
that'll go for a good maybe half an hour because it takes a long time for the petrol to evaporate.
That it does. Now, on that thought, I'm going to do that tonight, and I'll let you
Hey,
know
give it
how
a
it
go.
goes.
So let me know how it goes.
So,
Do it. You can do it with a glass bottle too um if you want something you can reuse. Do
well,
it with a glass
the
bottle.
idea for me is I'm just sick of having to try and stoke it with twigs and all that. Now I've
Mm,
got these
mm.
little firelighters that are made out of wool, and they're done by
Yep.
Sandboy or something like that, and you get about 20 in a packet for about $10 or something.
Mm.
But they just run out so quick. So I bought these firelighters blocks, but
Yep.
you have to use 3 of them at once for it to finally catch, and then you put your wood around it and it'll take off. Now, but that again, you're hoping it works and you're having to wait for it to catch, and
Mm,
it's just a
mm.
pain in the ass because sometimes it'll still blow out. So I'm going back to the old method of I want a quick fire and petrol.
But you know what else? What I do now, right? Now that I'm a little bit more concerned about the location of my fingers, nose, toes, that kind of thing. I went to Bunnings and I got one of those fire chimneys, one of those little
Oh,
things, that looks like your milk mug that you're
yep.
drinking out of. It's got that big handle on the side and it's got all the holes all over it. Those things work like a fucking charm.
Yeah, see, when I was picking out a fire pit, I had options, and I wanted a fire pit that was deep enough, but not too
Mm,
big. Now, the one that I wanted originally was like this sphere looking one, but then when I went to
yeah.
Bunnings, it wasn't as deep as what it made it look like on the picture. It was almost like it had no depth to it at all, really. It was
Mm,
just like someone had indented a little section and that was it. And I thought, fuck, man, like I'm gonna have to get something to go over the top of that. Like kids are just gonna, shit's gonna flake out
yeah,
everywhere, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
ash
yeah.
is just gonna go everywhere. So as you've seen in my pictures, I ended up with a nice sort of toolish one that's still round, but it has heaps of depth to it, and it's covered.
Mm,
So all the embers and all that sort of shit don't spark out in every direction.
mm,
So
mm.
they had other ones that were called smokeless fire pits, which I could have also bought. However, they don't use wood.
Mm.
They use
Yeah.
some sort of like charcoal, special charcoal sort of fire burn that you put in there. And I was
Okay.
like, well, I don't want something that just generates heat. I want the effect of flame and all that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to even entertain that one. It's not even worth it. So
So no, so this thing that I use, right? Like I said, it looks like a beer mug, but it's a lot bigger.
yeah,
Okay. What you do, this is for starting the fire. So you'd stack all of your fire, you'd
firewood.
stack your kindling in the top of it, right?
Yeah.
Or the bigger kindling you'd stack in the top of it. Then whatever you're going to use to light it, it's got a space at the bottom that you
Okay.
put, your firelighters or the fine kindling or whatever. You put that in the bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
it's got holes around the bottom too. So then you use a long match. You light the firelighters or whatever, and then this thing creates an absolute vortex of heat, which gets the the wood or coal, whatever you got inside the cup part, really going hot. It gets you going within minutes. So then you dump that into your fire pit, you get the next lot going, but instead of using the fire lighters, you just sit it on top of the coals that are already in there, and it gets the next lot going even faster.
Oh, what? So yeah, okay, I
Yep.
need something like
So
that.
then once they're like $10 from Bunnings. Go to Bunnings Warehouse.
Okay, I gotta suss that out for
Okay,
sure.
I'll send you a photo of my one a bit
Yes,
later on.
send me a
But
photo of that.
I think anyone who's actually used them before knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, then once you got two of their volumes of coal going, that's enough that you can just start pouring coal on into the barbecue pit instead of using the chimney.
Nice.
That
Nice,
thing,
nice. Now
that
that
thing works like a charm.
yeah, so I bought a huh? Oh, sorry. The missus is getting me to do things even though I'm recording.
No, you're okay, man. You're okay. But no, I
Yeah.
think this thing's absolutely wonderful, and it's one of the reasons why I like hosting barbecues so much, so that I can show it off.
Yeah, no, that thing sounds mint. Now, if I lived in the same state, I think we'd just be having barbecues nearly every night.
We should. We should. We need to catch up for a barbecue at least once in our lives, right? Maybe even do what Steve Vanderheiden does every now and then and record. Just put a microphone up in the middle of the barbecue.
Oh yeah, is that what he does? Just
Yeah,
puts one up.
he's got one or two episodes like that where you can hear right in the background. You can just hear the fire crackling, and I think I've dropped out. No,
No,
I
you're
haven't.
still
Okay,
there.
I'm still there. My picture just froze for a sec. But you can hear the fire crackling in the background, and he's just sitting there talking to mates, having a few drinks, and cooking some meat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So he makes an episode out of that.
he does.
Oh, that's insane. That's cool.
That's all right. But it's actually because of him that I thought of our topic for today, because he's gone on a bit of a road trip. As you know, if you
Mm,
listen to his podcast, he lives in Wyoming, but he's from South Carolina. And he's taken the family up to South Carolina for
yeah.
the weekend or something. He sent me a photo today, and he's like, "Oh, this is the Crazy Horse Monument," and I was like, "That doesn't look like a horse at all." Oh, wait a minute, Crazy Horse is the dude's name.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Because
Oh,
it's just a dude carved out of rock. It's a Native American guy carved into the rock.
that's insane. So yeah,
Yeah.
America's got some good stuff over there. Like they've got some good sightseeing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what have we got in Australia that's like even worthy of even like we don't really have anything that people go, oh, I want to go to Australia and see that. Like everyone talks about the Sydney Harbour Bridge, but I suppose when
Mm-hmm.
you live in Sydney and you drive over it 1,000 times a year, it loses its novelty, doesn't it?
I will tell you what, the effect never wears off.
Yeah.
Especially for me as a foreigner, right?
Yeah.
Knowing the fact that my dad has always wanted to drive over the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which he will be doing in December. Every time I've driven over it, I think this is fantastic. I actually get to do this on almost a daily basis. Not anymore because I don't, now I work a lot closer to home.
Mm. Got a better
Um,
lifestyle.
yeah, a better lifestyle. I don't have to leave home that much.
You sound
But the awe never leaves you.
yeah, okay. For me, I think when I was there, after I'd seen it, I was like, "Huh, that's the
Hmm.
bridge." Like for me, it was just like all this excitement and the Sydney Opera House and all that kind of thing. I went to go see the Sydney Opera House, and the thing was dirty. Like
Yeah,
they show
actually,
in the movies and the TV as this bright white. Oh, it's so
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
But I went there and it was a rainy, gloomy day, and there was shit all over it. It honestly looked like homeless people would sleep around it, and I was just
Actually,
like, "Man, they've gotta come and clean this thing," which I found out later on is done on a monthly.
it's actually that's actually it's normal color
Mm,
because in the movies, right, they like to clean it up a little bit in post production.
hence my
Everyone
cookies, by the way,
expects
off
the
topic.
Oh, nice. Everyone expects the Sydney Opera House to be white.
Yeah,
It's not white.
yeah,
Its normal color is the sort of off brown color.
right, it's just crazy to me, see, like I always imagine it being this nice, white, bright sort of building. Never got to go inside of it because it was closed up, but, it just didn't look like the
And
movie. I was like, "Yeah, okay." Went to
yeah,
Bondi Beach expecting everyone to be there, and it'd be this, like, Bondi Beach like you see on the TV show. Go there. Do you think I
nada.
seen one soul?
Nope.
There was no one, and this was like I wouldn't say it was the hottest day, but it was still warm.
Mm.
Um, and there was not a soul to be seen. Maybe a couple of oldies walking their dogs, and that was about it. There was no soul on that beach.
Look, I'm going to say this as a Sydney sider myself. That was probably largely due to the fact that Bondi is fucking shithouse.
Mhm.
No one wants to go to Bondi, for real. Right. Most of the Aussies don't want to go to Bondi because they expect it to be crowded with foreigners, and
Yeah,
most of the foreigners don't want to go to Bondi because it's fucking expensive and no one wants to go there.
yeah. It's highly expensive, very highly expensive. I've got
So it's like
a
any
a
time
friend's family
outside
that
of
lives
about,
there, and it's stupidly expensive.
oh, bloody oath, you can't even get a coffee for less than $10 out there.
No.
But most of the what was I going to say? Most of the footage that you see on shows like Bondi Rescue, that was all shot in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, they certainly done it when there was
Mm,
a high population.
yeah, yeah.
And I feel like some of those must have been TV extras. Like,
But even so,
the
right?
rescues are real. The
Mm,
everything about it
mm.
is real. It's just obviously they time it to a particular part of the year where they know that it's going to be jam packed full of people.
Yeah,
But
it's like the
for the
December school holidays. It's rammed, but then
yeah,
every other moment for the rest of the year,
for the
nada,
other
bugger all.
350 days of the year, 340 days of the year, there's just no one. On a hot day, you would think, "Oh, Bondi." I didn't see any of that and went to the Harbour Bridge and, I looked at it and I just went, "Yeah, not today, Sally," and, kept on walking. I wasn't going on top of that. I didn't find I even went to the theme park sort of well, I wouldn't say it's a theme park. What do you guys call it there?
Oh, Luna Park.
Luna Park. I went there and thinking, "Oh, yeah, there'll be heaps of people in here." And I walked through and I swear to God, it could have been its own time zone. It could have been its own little suburb of,
Don't
cracked
don't
out
get me
men.
started on
Like,
Luna Park.
there was maybe 5 to 10 people walking around.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Like, it died off. Like, there
mm,
was just nothing there, and I thought, "Oh, I'll go on a couple of the rides and do a few little games," but, like, even the people that were working there were just like, "Yeah, $5 if you wanna go, mate." "Yeah, no, we're good." "Yeah, no
see,
worries." Like,
Luna
even
Park
they've
is
lost the,
such a
"Ooh."
pathetic excuse for a theme park. I hate going there.
Mm.
And I hate seeing adverts for it because I'm like, don't fall for this shit. The biggest thing they've got there is that smiley face at the entrance, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. This is coming from somebody. I grew up in Cape Town, right? As you know.
Yeah.
Now, in late 90s to early 2010s, Cape Town had this fucking insane theme park,
Yeah.
right? This thing was called Ratanga Junction, and it was completely jungle themed. Like,
Yeah, okay.
the idea was stranded on a jungle island. All the rides were themed properly, right? Things like the Cobra. The Cobra was one of the biggest roller coasters in the southern hemisphere.
Yep.
Then they had this ride called the Bushwhacker, which
Oh, the
was
Bushwhacker. I've heard of that. So we had one called the Bushwhacker. It was like a ride
yeah,
on sorry, it was a,
mm.
ride on bull named
Okay,
the
so
Bushwhacker.
in our case it was a little like a steam engine pulling a bunch of mining carts.
Yeah, right.
Okay, through actual bushland,
Through
right?
actually wow, okay.
And then you would go there. You could spend at least a day exploring this theme park and not see the whole of it, right? Then I
Hmm.
come to Australia. I come to Sydney. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, Sydney's got a theme park as well. So I go to my stepfather, let's go see this theme park. Okay. And I get there and I'm like, okay, so this place this place is obviously the little carnival that's set up in the car park of the theme park. When are we going to go inside?
Yeah.
And my stepdad's like, "What? This
Wha-
is it."
This is it. Yeah.
Hang on a minute, can't we fucking just walk down? We've been to the end of this place like 5 times in the last 10 minutes. What are you talking about? This is it.
Yeah. Hang on, we've seen
So
this before.
I can count on one hand the number of rides in this place.
Yeah. So a similar story to what happened over here. Like it was overpriced, really bad. And the city of Mandra have decided they're not going to renew the lease of King's Carnival. So they told
Yep,
King's
yep.
Carnival, pack your shit up and fuck off, basically.
Mm,
King's Carnival said, well, you can get fucked. We're not tearing down buildings. We're certainly not going to return it to the way it was. You know, you're not
mm.
going to help us. They've been there for well over 2-3 decades.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now the city of Mandra is like, you know what? We don't want you there. We want another brewery in Mandra. Now we've got enough pubs and clubs and everything in Mandra. We don't need another brewery in Mandra,
No,
nor
yeah.
does anybody else in the area want it. So they're going to give those owners a very hard time when they open, and make their life a living hell to the point it's going to be their worst investment they've ever done. So good luck to them. But yeah, everyone wanted King's Carnival to get their lease renewed and for the city of Mandra to invest money into it so things could be made better. But the city of Mandra decided we don't want to invest money, and King's Carnival basically turned around and said, well, okay, then we're not going to be tearing down buildings. We're not going to be returning it to the way it was. And they just left it. Told the city of Mandra, they took all the major rides and the activities away, took the mini golf away, and told the city of Mandurah, well, you can clean up the rest because we're not paying to have all that removed when you're not even going to assist us. Why would we assist you? So that's another whole legal battle that the King's Carnival is just going to face, but they're just going to declare bankruptcy and good luck to the city of Mandurah recouping that money.
That's just what they do, though, isn't it? Oh man,
That's what I mean.
the business has gone bust. We're just going to shut our doors and go.
Yep.
So I googled it. Right, the city of Mandra, WA, features approximately 10 to 12 prominent pubs, bars, and taverns.
Yep. Very, very much so. We have
That's just in one suburb.
That's just the foreshore.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
just the
yeah.
foreshore where they're putting this new brewery, thinking, "Oh, we need a new brewery in Mandra. Let's try another one." Oh, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Because the other 13 that we have aren't enough. Like, let's just add another one. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like,
So what do you got? You got top floor nightclub. You got the Boathouse Tavern,
yep.
the Bridge Garden Bar and Restaurant,
Now,
Murphy's Irish
keep in
Pub. I'd go to that.
mind that the
Mm.
bridge that they're talking about has a bunch of restaurants along there, which most
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
serve alcohol.
Okay, so it's like it's a whole
So on top of the 13, you've got all of those businesses also sell alcohol.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you dine in, can have a drink. And some of them are even set up like a bar itself. Like it is crazy. So to say that
It sounds
Mandra's
like
got
my
an
kind of place.
it sounds like a lot of people's kind of place. It could almost be Mandra's becoming no longer methandra because we used to have a meth problem here,
Yeah.
and we have a massive drug problem still in Mandra.
Now it's becoming money,
Becoming
Andra.
now it's becoming money Andra, drunk Mandra, no longer the retirement place to be Mandra because you're just going to get a bunch of fuckheads in
Mm.
Mandra. So it's Mandra's losing its appeal very fast because the city of Mandra have what you call dinosaurs in the authority. And when you have dinosaurs in authority, they don't like to move with the modern times. They don't understand the modern times. The city of Rockingham is the same. They do
My
not
area is very
understand
much the same as well.
modern times. They prefer to live in the Stone Age. They do things without taking it to the public to vote on, like this stupid FOGO system was never voted on. It was just whatever they decided because the state government were going to give them money to implement this. And now it's backfiring. And there's even been councils that have canned FOGO altogether because it doesn't work. people don't visit the breweries like it was supposed to be because people are not interested in alcohol and wines. That's more like Averley, Swan Valley type sort of business. Take your business out to those areas, not in Mandurah. It
You go
doesn't
on. Give me a sec.
work. It's it is very it's very unorganized in a way. The city of Mandra, city of Rockingham, city of Fremantle, all of these councils, South Perth, all need to literally talk with each other and start listening to the public, because if they don't, we're going to have massive problems going into our future, and soon the city inspector will get involved anyway, so we won't have a problem anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, guys, we're just going to tune in to a bit of music, and we'll see you in a couple of seconds. Oh, I cannot seem to get it to work, so there we go.
All right, I'm back.
Alrighty.
Sorry about that.
That's
I had
right. I
to,
thought I'd just put on
had to nick off
our
to the
little.
bathroom quickly.
Who done this video of shuttle flow? Who done this?
Steve Wicks
Steve Wicks.
is his name. That's right.
It's insane. Is it one of your mates?
Okay. All right.
We're gonna
I don't
feed
know
a bit of editing in
what
this.
the hell's going on with the music. Right.
This
So
this is what happens when you have a bunch of amateurs just that push buttons.
yeah, we just push buttons. Why do we push buttons?
Just to see if it works.
That's
Now,
fair.
one of
That's
my
fair.
mates was going to join us. However, he just said, "Sorry, bro, shitty reception. Don't we all?"
That's fair. That's fair. You had spotty reception to begin with this afternoon as well.
Oh, I hear beers.
You do hear another beer. That's right. So it's interesting. You got me started on the wineries and that now, right?
Yes.
So once again, as I mentioned before, I'm from Cape Town, and I
Mhm.
don't know if a lot of Aussies know this, but Cape Town is extremely famous for, amongst Cape Townians anyway, for its wine regions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So some of the best wines coming out of Africa come out of Cape Town, like the Stellenbosch region, the Takai region, the Western Cape in general has a lot of wineries. And that was something else I've noticed, that New South Wales, anyway, is seriously lacking in.
Definitely
Because
lacking.
you're going to be the next one that needs to go to the toilet, mate. After
I've nearly demolished 2 liters of iced coffee.
he's held up this 2-liter bottle of iced coffee, and there's a fucking 1/8 of an inch left in the bottle of it, in the bottom of it.
Look, it was almost half full.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
wines.
Yeah, so the wines. Like going on a wine tour in Cape Town was nothing. It was like half a day's activity, if that.
Yeah.
And this is the middle of the city. You don't have to go out to the country for it.
Yeah, okay.
No, there are wineries in the suburbs of Cape Town.
Yeah, that's insane.
So then again, coming here to Australia, to Sydney specifically, and then discovering that there's nothing like that here
yeah, no.
is insane.
I would swap with you in a second, because Mandra has nothing but breweries and all that, and wines, and we do now. The place for it is where it's about an hour and 20 minutes from us here, maybe an hour and a half, and it's called the Swan Valley, the Averley Swan Valley area. And that's got wineries. That's all your sort of bit of country land out there. And it's got your vineyards and your wine tasting and your cheese platters, and come out for a weekend and have a Summersby type thing, The Swan Valley is very known
The
for that.
Summersby Pale Ale crowd really pisses me off.
Yeah, no, you go there and, come here, have a drink, and they're just like, yeah, sorry, not today, mate. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in the wines. For me, it's the local market in that wine region that we have. For the amount of breweries we have, you would think we'd have a lot of local wines to choose from. Do you think our liquor land is even close to selling their own wine that's locally made?
Of
No.
course not.
No, they'd rather Eastern state shit come in. Like, very rare that you'll get Australian made wine bottles on the shelf. Like, very rare.
Even here in the eastern states, you don't see much local stuff because
No,
I know
you've got to go to these vineyards and breweries if you want
as
their Pacific
mm,
made ale or wine or red wine or,
yeah.
whatever brand it is you drink. You've got to particularly go to the vineyards themselves and go, what are you selling locally out of your own backyard? Show us your
Mm,
wine,
mm.
your wine collection. They'll take you to their wine collection.
It's Sunday as we're recording right now, and there's a Sunday market that goes on here in
Mm.
Campbelltown every week. Now, once a month, there's a bloke who does run a winery somewhere around here. I have yet to find it, but this guy, he'll come in once a month and flog his wares. He's never once asked me for ID.
Yeah, I don't think people tend to ask anymore for ID. Like if you look like you're overage, they're like, here you go, have a case of whatever, whatever you're asked for. Here you go. But
I'm pretty sure. I'm
I've
pretty
met
sure this
13,
bloke I could.
14-year-olds that
Yeah,
literally look
yeah.
like they're late 20s, early 30s. So, you've got to be super careful when you're selling because some of these teenagers these days, you would honestly think they're like mid 30s, some looking like they're in their 40s, just, bad genetics.
Mm, mm. So, like one of my back when I was living in Cooma, right in the snowies, I had this mate whose sister would go and buy us booze, right, when we were underage. We were 16, 17. No, well, okay.
We do not condone underage drinking.
No, we don't condone underage drinking, but that didn't stop us now, did it?
No,
But
just
anyway,
terms and C's comply.
so she'd go and pick us up the booze, and come back to the house, and it was only several years after this, right? I found out that they were twins.
Oh, no.
She she was the same age as us.
What? So, somehow she was getting away with it using what, her sister's ID or?
No, they didn't have an older sister or anything. They, they were just, this mate of mine. He was a bloke, and then his sister obviously is a girl. So
Yeah.
they weren't identical twins or anything, just fraternal twins.
See, I remember
But
back in the day where they used to work with the girls because a lot of the girls back when we were going to school would be well developed enough to walk into a bar or a pub and come out with a six pack because they just go, hey, how's it going? I just need a
hey.
six pack, thanks. And the person behind the bar be like, sure, no worries. Here you go. $23, please. And you just be like, how the fuck? But now, if
Yep,
you
yep.
try that now they're just like, give us your ID. Like that shit doesn't work now. Like I think it's because our generation has now taken that bar position and now we know what to look out for. So, all the tricks and the little things they're gonna try and do and, send their mates and send their brothers in. I've seen mates working at the Irish bar down the road from us that I haven't seen in bloody years. They're like, hey
Yep,
Corey, how's it
yep.
going? I'm like, the fuck? Like, been years since I've seen you. Like, what are you doing working here? Oh, I
My
run it. I'm
favorite
the
one,
bar
right,
manager.
back when I used to work at the liquor store, my absolute favorite story from that period was something similar to this. Okay, so I had this pair of quite obviously teenagers. They came in, they they got like a case of beer, they got a bottle of I think Jack Daniels or something like that, and a bottle of Coke. Okay, and I was like, get fucked. No way am I serving you. Okay.
Yeah.
You put your IDs on the table right now. Where are they? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you forgot them at home. Like, yeah, you fucking forgot them at home. Get out of here,
Yeah.
So I go, I put all the wares back where they belong. Lo and behold, about 10 minutes later, because I lived in a small town, the local crackhead comes in.
Oh, of
Okay,
course.
the local crackhead comes in, and guess what he picks? He picks the same
Same
brand of
thing.
beer. He picks the same bottle of Jack Daniels off the shelf, and he picks a bottle of Coke. And I was like, You got to be fucking kidding me, right? You think you're going to get away with this?
Yeah, no, you're also barred. See you later. I know what you're doing.
Get the fuck out, as if I didn't just see you through the window accepting a $50 note from that kid. Piss off.
Yeah, people seem to think you're stupid, like you're gonna serve them. Yeah, no, we're too glued on for that. So the shit that we tried when we were teenagers just isn't gonna work now.
No.
And I think if it did work now, you'd be too worried if it was an undercover cop you would be selling to anyway. Because they tend to use now the younger officers for undercover work like that to catch people out, thinking, oh, yeah, you'll work perfectly. I kid you not, I went through an RBT, it was double demerits. It would have been last week, Friday, I think it was, or Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
And we ended up going through the booze bus, and I kid you not, this kid was 20 years old and he's a copper. And you looked at him and he didn't look a day over 16. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I turned to him, I said, you must be what, 18, just out of the academy? He's like, yeah, I'm 20. I was like, shit. Like, you just couldn't tell. Like, he literally looked like he was 16 years old. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's my first station that I've been at, first job. Like, so he just left the academy, been assigned to the Mandra police station. And his first job's RBT working on a long weekend.
That's the best thing, though, isn't it? They give the new recruits all the shit kicker jobs.
Well, that's
they're like, we're going to put you out in this rough area. We're going to put you on the booze bus as well.
Yeah.
Right. You better know how to fight because someone's going to try it.
See, if that was me, I wouldn't mind doing RBT work. Well, number one, the police will never admit it, and I've asked individual officers this. I asked them at the Mandra Crab Fest, and they admitted they actually do have a quota they've got to meet. So when you see officers out on long weekends and all that, and you understand why there's so many police out, they are told by the higher command, if your station doesn't perform, we will shut you down and you'll all be reassigned to another station. Hence why stations in our area started getting shut down because they weren't performing. Oh, it costs too much money. No, that's crap. We found out that it's because they weren't hitting quotas that they were meant to be. Traffic enforcement wasn't hitting it, and now every time there's a long weekend or a public holiday or whatever the case is, they'll flood the area with cops and they'll be all hitting the quota mark. And once they've hit the quotas, that's it. Oh, we're running a bit behind on RBTs. Let's just set up a random RBT first thing in the morning on school run in the middle of the bloody highway. And they will literally stop people coming onto the freeway and have an RBT set up right directly in the middle of the mainstream of area of Mandra and be like, right, everyone pull over for an RBT. And that's just so they can get the quota of the numbers up. It's ridiculous. They never catch anyone. They never get anyone.
But they need to be able to show that they've done it.
They need to show they've done it. But they always send the young ones out there. Like, you'll go to an RBT lineup and there'll be like 6 of them all there and they look like they're 15, 16, just released.
Yeah, because you can guarantee that there's going to be at least one tradie or something like that at 5:30 in the morning who's going to start kicking off because he has had several beers for breakfast. And now it's time to head out
to a long weekend.
It's time to get out to the job site, right?
Oh, they've had a big night.
They want to chuck they've had a big night before. They want to chuck these kids out there so that they can know if they're going to sink or swim.
Pretty much. That's the way I'm looking at it. I reckon it's just a thing to see if you can sink, swim, can actually do the job. Let's just throw the big RBT bus out there. Now, I reckon your Eastern States RBT is way more advanced than what WA is. We've got this singular bus, and it's just says police on the side, and they call it the booze bus, the booze bus, and they'll send everyone onto that has to go through there. But I've seen on RBT, they've got this full setup. They've got highway patrol. They've got side streets fucking running, so if someone tries to use a side street, they've got a cop car there. Where they literally set up this booze bus, right? You go down the main road of Mandra, and there's like a big sort of parking bay you can go into and have a break or whatever, have a coffee. And that's where they'll set up the RBT. But before that big area, you've got a side street. People were just turning left and using the back end of the street and going out the other way. And when I finally got through to the front of the RBT, I said, "Hey, have you got coppers on the side street?" And they're like, "Nah, we don't." And I was just like, "Don't you think maybe you should have someone on the side street, considering
That sounds like
everyone's
a
just
traffic control issue.
everyone's just using the side street, avoiding your
Mm,
RBT
mm.
and going around your RBT, which is only a 1-minute detour, if that, to get around your RBT. Therefore, you're probably missing all the drunks because they can see your RBT well in advance. You've got a big sign saying RBT, so they're just going to turn left and go, okay, well, I'll avoid the RBT and I'll use the back streets." And they're like, "Oh, no, we didn't think of that. Thanks, mate." I'm like, that would have been the very first thing I would have thought of. If I'm going to set up an RBT prior to a turn-off street, maybe go, hey, we need to put a patrol vehicle, a chase car down the side street. Nah, no thought of that.
So I'm going to say this now. If you're planning a night on the piss this weekend, there are two
Best thing.
versions of you, right? There's the organized version of you that's listening to this show right now, and there's the Sunday version of you that's lying on the lounge wearing yesterday's clothes, wondering why your bank account is lighter than your head feels like a demolition site. Do Sunday you a favor. Stock the fridge with a few on-track meals before you head out.
Yes, all day breakfast included.
That way, yeah, exactly, yes. When you wake up feeling like you've done 12 rounds with a concrete truck, you've got a proper meal sitting there ready to go. No cooking, no effort, no dangerous decisions involving a family-sized pizza and a liter of chocolate milk, or in Swagman's case, 2 liters of iced coffee.
And
On-track meals are
meals.
packed with protein. They taste bloody good. They are a massive friend of the show, and they've been backing us for ages. So
They
we'd
have.
love it if you guys back them too. Jump online, get yourself a few meals. Use the code INTHEZONE10 for a 10% discount on your order. And that's ontrackmeals.com.au. And if you're too lazy to punch in the code at the end, right, just type in ontrackmeals.com.au/in the zone to get 10% off everything you buy from them. And yes, they do have a bloody good breakfast. It's scrambled eggs and sausages, isn't it?
Yes, scrambled eggs, sausages, or you can get the Aussie pork snags.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
Pork
you got
snags
that 250-gram bag.
with mashed potato and peas, the pork snag.
Yes, you've also
That's
got
brilliant.
pumpkin and potato mash. You've also got mild chili con carne.
Which, let me tell you, is not as mild as they say it is.
No, it is
I am a guy who can handle some heat, right? I'm South African. And even that thing to my taste buds has some flavor. That's got me going while I'm eating it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, my favorite one out of all the on-track meals, which I still love to this day, is the slow-cooked Australian steak. Now, if you mix that in with the pumpkin potato mash,
yes,
it is amazing. It tastes great. So those two meals together, one of them is $17.95, the other one is $9.95. However,
that tender lamb and pearl barley as well. You mix that in with the mashed potato and peas. Ooh, mashed potato and gravy. Ooh, brilliant meal.
If you're like us and you're not prepared sometimes, you can get the new item that they have on the market from On Track Meals called the Jet Boil Stash Cooking System. So you add your water, you add your meal, and I'm just looking at this now. It does cost $199.90.
But it's a one-off purchase.
It is a once-off purchase, providing a high performance for making meals and hot drinks on the trail. The Stash Cooking System is the lightest in the Jet Boil range for grim counting expeditioneers. In other words, anyone that loves the outdoor adventures. This system is compromised with a flux ring, cook pot, and standalone stove, and all nest together with a separately available 100-gram jet power fuel canister for compact storage. The pot comes with a handle to make it easier to pull out when everything is hot and boiling. So for 2.5 minutes, you get your hot cuppers all ready. This thing is jet flamed. I'm just looking at the pictures now. It is very compact. It looks like it goes up beyond 500 mils. So It is a small little device, but it is great, and we'll chuck the link up on our page,
As we
um,
always do,
as we always
in
do,
the
and you can
description
check it
of
out for
this
yourselves.
episode.
It literally
Actually,
weighs 0.200 kilo,
yeah, so
0.200.
200 grams. Yeah,
200 grams.
200 grams.
That's how much. Titanium hard, uh,
Mm,
and
mm.
anodized aluminium stainless steel. There you
Okay,
go.
so it's a pretty decent quality stove. I actually went to Anaconda yesterday, right,
Yeah, and
and
you'll
I
find
checked
most
out.
of it.
No, you don't find any of on-track meals in Anaconda.
Nope, sorry, that's BCF.
What they do carry is a competitor's brand. And
Oh,
hang on a minute, I'm going somewhere with this. I felt the bags, okay, and you can tell just by feeling it that the stuff inside is dry.
no.
It's one of those, you gotta add water into the bag and then cook it in a pot kinda deals. On-track meals is not like that.
No.
On-track meals is not dehydrated. It is cooked naturally. It's already ready to eat. You could eat on-track meals cold. You can microwave it and just eat it like that. Or you can buy one of their flameless ration heaters, add a tiny bit of water, not as much as you'd have to add to one of these other dehydrated meals, and it will cook the meal in the flameless ration heater for you. There's no need to add anything.
Way. And that's On Track Meals. On Track.
ontrackmeals.com.au/in the zone. Well, it's in the zone 10 if you don't if you don't type it in to begin with.
Yes, correct. And save yourself some money there. All right, guys, we will see you all next week for another episode. Have you got
Yeah.
anything else, Cranky?
No, that's pretty much
That's
it.
it. All right, guys, I am probably going to go to the hospital now because my son is burning up. He's just had his flu jabs as well as meningococcal B, and his temperature is not coming down. So
Yeah,
I'm about to
that's
shoot off
fair.
to the hospital. So I'll leave you guys. Take it all easy, and we will see you next week for another
I will
episode of
see you
Chill
next
Zone.
week. All right, man, you better go.
Take
I'll
it
hit the
easy.
music. Bye.